What's up, guys? It's Jonathan here, and today I want to talk about the simplicity of the gospel. In one word in particular, love. Now, love is a word that has been distorted by the world that we live in. Love has turned into a word called lust, and lust and love are two completely different things. They're polar opposites, really. Lust is all about feelings and in the flesh, and how something makes you feel, and really glorifying the desires of the flesh, while love is something completely different. Love is about other people. Love is about allowing the Lord to come into your life and just flow out of you, because He gives you love. He is a definition of love, and the world has no idea what love is. They claim love is love and that they know what love is, but they really don't. What they know is lust, where they serve the flesh and its desires, but love is something that sets captives free. Love is the purpose of life, honestly, and the only way you can achieve true love and find true love is through Christ Himself. Now, Paul talks about in Ephesians chapter 5, the headline is Walk in Love, and he says, "Therefore be imitators of God as beloved children, and walk in love as Christ loved us and gave Himself up for us, a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God." Now this is lust. But sexual immorality and impurity and covetousness must not even be named among you, as is proper among saints. Let there be no filthiness, nor foolish talk, nor crude joking, which are out of place. But instead let there be thanksgiving. For you may be sure of this, that everyone who is sexually immoral, or impure, or who is covetous, that is, an idolater, has no inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and God. Let no one deceive you with empty words, for because of these things the wrath of God comes upon the sons of disobedience. Therefore do not become partners with them, for at one time you were darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of the light. For the fruit of light is found in all that is good and right and true. And try to discern what is pleasing to the Lord. Take no part in unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. For it is shameful even to speak of the things that they do in secret. But when anything is exposed by light, it becomes visible. For anything that becomes visible is light. Therefore it says, and these in quotes, "Awake, O sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you." Look carefully, then how you walk, not as unwise but as wise, making the best use of your time, because the days are evil. Therefore do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is. Do not get drunk with wine, that is debauchery, but be filled with the Spirit, addressing one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody to the Lord with your heart, giving thanks always and for everything to God the Father in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, submitting to one another out of the reverence for Christ. Verse 2, it says, "And walk in love." I kind of got a little carried away there, but it's basically talking about what Paul says throughout all these things. He talks about walking in love as Christ loved us. That's a direct commandment, to walk in love as Christ loved us. And then it goes on to say these things about the sexually immoral, and the unwise, the impure, the immoral, idolaters. That's lust. That's the lust we see in this world. And then it talks about the fruits. Take no part in unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. Right? And then the quote, "Awake, O sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you." When He saves you, when He pulls you out of the darkness you were in, it says right here, it says, for at one time you were darkness. Right? But now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of the light. So how do we do that? How do we walk as children of the light? What does that look like? Well, it says in verse 2, right? Walk in love. It's really that simple. Now, love isn't something that is defined really in certain aspects of life. It's simply just kindness, and gentleness, and If you want to know what love is, look at how Christ lived, right? He washed the feet of sinners. He ate with sinners, right? The lady was about to be stoned, and he came over and he said, let he who has no sin cast the first stone, and they all dropped their stones. He lived in love. He took on those people that weren't necessarily cool, that weren't necessarily the, best dressed or the cleanest or whatever it may be. He took those on and he said, I'm going to love these people. And he loved everybody he encountered, even the Pharisees. So that's how we walk in the Spirit. That's how we allow the light to come through, is simply by love. Now, I don't know what sin you may be going through. I don't know what struggle you may have in your life, or if everything seems to be going good. Or maybe even what past you have. You can have a past and the enemy will be lying to you, saying that you can't be forgiven, saying that, oh, you've gone too far this time and you can't talk to the Lord today, or that you don't deserve His love. But I'm here to tell you, Christ sets you free, and the lies of the enemy are simply that, lies. He wants to distort your view of God. He wants to make it out to be something that it's not. God is love, regardless of what you hear people in the world saying, and obviously what you hear the devil saying. God is love, and He loves you. He has a unique plan and a purpose for your life. He wants to set you free. He wants to take that sin, whatever it may be in your life right now, and set you free from it. And give you His perfect love. And when you start walking in love, you're not going to want to sin. You're not going to want to do those things that separate you from the Lord. If you start focusing on, oh, I can't do this sin today, I can't do it, you're eventually going to fall to it. But when you walk in love, and after the way that Christ walked, and really start living in His freedom, you're not going to want to do that, because it's just enslaving and entangling yourselves in the sins of this world. You're not going to want to do that, because the Son has set you free. John 8:36 says, "So if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed." He wants to set you free today, guys. He doesn't want you to live in guilt. That's one thing He doesn't want you to do, for sure. Don't live in guilt. If you sinned, you sinned. We all fall short. You know what? The enemy's going to make you feel like you can't go to the Lord today. You can't talk to Him about it. Or maybe you've asked the Lord to set you free and you still struggle with it. He has set you free from the sin. If you asked Him to do it, He has set you free. But your own selfish desires are still entangled in that sin, whatever it may be. He wants to give you true freedom, true purpose in life. Walk in love, and you will find purpose. And He will release you from any bondage you may be under. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a blessed day.